It's the Screen Team here on today's Talk 930 KWOC and 93.3 on FM. And this week we're getting ready to rumble, if you will. We've got a wrestling-themed movie review show we're going to be doing today. And who better to have on the panel than Stacy and Kyle. Guys, how are you today?
Wonderful.
I'm ready to lay the smacketh downeth on this one.
I'm scared, man. You guys are ready to go to town on this.
Yeah, I'm pretty jacked. I feel a stunner coming on somewhere.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds pretty bad.
How about a Hogan leg drop? You recognize that one?
No, but I like Hogan, so I'll just go with that.
Headlock? You know what a
Headlock, yes.
is?
A sleeper hold?
Yeah.
Look at that. Venus flytrap? Is that anything?
I'm not sure.
I just made that up.
Yeah, okay. I'm digging it. I'd be afraid to be put in that.
Let's talk about our first film. It's called Ready to Rumble. This movie came out about almost 15 years ago. It stars David Arquette and who's the other guy?
Scott Conn.
Look at this. You guys are on
Hawaii 5-0.
You're on top
Varsity
of this
Blues.
today. My goodness. Ready to Rumble.
And Oliver Platt. Let's not
yes,
forget him.
indeed.
And it's got a whole bunch of cameos, too, of some famous wrestlers.
Absolutely, yeah.
Kyle, what is the main thing with this movie?
David and Scott Conn play Gordy and Sean. They're two diehard wrestling fans. They love WCW wrestling. For all you young kids out there, this is a promotion that used to exist. It was really awesome back in the day. And their favorite wrestler is the world champion Jimmy King. And they're watching Nitro, which is the program WCW ran, and they see that he's about to get destroyed by several wrestlers at the behest of the evil Titus Sinclair, who's the on-air authority figure and the real-life boss.
Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it?
A little bit, just a wee bit to something for another day. So they decide, and they live in Wyoming, and much to the begrudging of Gordy's dad, who wants him to be a law enforcement officer with no other career choice, they decide to embark on a quest, if you will, to save their king and help him get his title back. Little do they find out, not everything's what they believe.
Now, the king, he is he's not a real wrestler. He's played by Oliver Platt.
Oliver Platt, yes.
Correct. So basically, what happens is Oliver Platt gets into a situation. He gets the belt taken away from him, and these guys are trying to help him get it back.
Yeah, because they're at the show and they fit and they start to notice some things that don't seem like what you would see on television. So they see something's fishy and decide we're going to go help our king no matter what. Meet some very interesting characters along the way, to say the least. So
when I saw this movie, Kyle, I thought exactly of you. I thought if this was real life, this would be this is Kyle.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. Did you like the movie?
Oh, when it first came out, me being about 12, 13 years old, I didn't know any better. It was freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie by any stretch, but it's a total guilty pleasure, especially if you are a fan of professional wrestling. And a lot of the older wrestlers from this movie you'll recognize if you used to watch back in the day. Guys like Bill Goldberg, Sting, Rey Mysterio, who always wrestled masked but was unmasked in this, so rare opportunity to see his face.
Was the Macho Man in this?
And yes, and of course the main villain, if you will, Mr. Bang, Diamond Dallas Page, and the Macho Man does make a cameo in this.
Yeah,
you gotta have the Macho Man in it, brother. The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour. Yeah.
Stacy.
Go on.
Stacy, your thoughts, man?
Well, I do shamelessly like to watch wrestling, I guess. It's not something I completely broadcast, but if you follow me on Facebook, you know Monday nights I'm throwing some stuff in there. But as a person who likes funny movies, and it's not always good funny movies, this one had me rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, these two guys, they set up porta potties and they take porta potties down. So if you like bathroom humor, you got that, and it's funny and it's got all the cool guys in it, and it's a good movie.
Also in the film is Rose McGowan and Martin Landau. How'd they get Martin Landau?
You know what? That woman, that's a mind boggler.
But he did great.
He did great.
I mean, he was like the ultimate
old school wrestling trainer.
Like, we're gonna throw this one in there on you.
Yeah, and he's the kind of guy you look at him, you don't think he could whip anybody, but then all of a sudden, he's handled.
He's like a tornado,
right? The last thing you expect. It's a fun movie. It gives you a chance to go, and recollect on a more fonder liberal time in wrestling, if you will, which this movie came out in 2000. The unfortunate thing that came out of this movie, WCW wanted to capitalize on the hopeful success this movie would have. They decided to make David Arquette the world heavyweight champion, legitimately.
In real life and
yes,
not
they
in
did.
the movie?
Yes, they did. He said it was a terrible idea, but he went with it, and he actually went and had a lot of fun, but never took himself seriously. Luckily, he took all the money he made from working with WCW and donated it to the families of wrestlers he was very fond of that passed.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. What would happen if, say, David Arquette said, okay, I'll take your belt, and then leave and not come back?
Whoa, then lawsuits.
Oh.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. That's happened before with WCW, but they had a talent come over and actually throw away one of Vince McMahon's belts on national television.
Really?
Yeah, his women's champion denounced her name. She had the belt and threw it in the trash live on WCW TV. Interesting times. It's what we like to call the Monday Night Wars, which was about a 3.5-year period where WCW and WWF at the time went head-to-head in ratings, in which WCW won for 84 straight weeks at one point.
And why did they win? Why did they win for so long, in your opinion?
They did the ungodly, if you will, in wrestling. They turned Hulk Hogan bad.
Oh.
That was a huge shocker. They ran a story in which 2 former WWF wrestlers came over to WCW and were invading. They were interrupting matches, beating people up, causing disturbances, and revealed they would have a third man at a 6-man tag team match at a Bash at the Beach pay-per-view. Originally, Hulk Hogan wasn't supposed to be the third man. WCW's top star Sting was, but he wasn't completely comfortable, so they went with Hulk, who wasn't comfortable either. He went out there, and everybody thinks he's there to save the day. He's Hulk Hogan. But then he drops the leg on, his longtime friend, the Macho Man, reveals himself to be the third man, and people proceed to litter the ring with garbage. Legitimately mad.
One of the most classic scenes in wrestling ever, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you had just... I watched it, and I always respected Hulk Hogan for everything he's done in the business, but I was more of a Macho Man fan. And I couldn't believe he did that. Like, how dare you, But that was the catalyst. Plus, they had awesome middle-of-the-show matches, opening matches with young wrestlers such as the late Eddie Guerrero or Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho.
John Cena's in this film, isn't he?
He has a very, very brief cameo in a scene with Bill Goldberg. He's just in the background. He's a guy lifting weights in the gym. You may not recognize him because he has blonde hair.
Okay.
But he actually was, I believe he had just signed a contract with the then WWF to their developmental territory to learn how to wrestle.
See, I kind of felt like that guy, like I felt like the way the scene was shot, like I'm supposed to know, you know what I mean? But I just, it was so fast I didn't even.
It's very quick. Someone pointed it out to me one time, and I looked up old pictures of John, and he used to have blonde hair that was kind of spiky, and then I put the pictures side by side and thought, well, daggum, there's John Cena in a scene with Bill Goldberg.
Did you actually say daggum?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I got that from my high school sociology teacher, Mr. Ladd. Daggum it.
All right. You know what my problem with wrestling is?
Which is?
I can't get past the lettering. There's too many W's. WWE, WWF, WCW, WWW.
Right.
WW.
Right.
Maybe you could just, call it as what it's more preferred to be called by older fans, World Wrestling Federation or World Wrestling Entertainment.
Hey, Chris,
that's how I know it.
Just call it wrestling and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Call it wrestling and make fun of people all you want. It's a very fun film, especially if you're an older wrestling fan or if you want some slapstick humor with some faces you may recognize. Check it out.
Man, there is one scene in this movie, and I was doubled over, tears running down my face. There at this is a porta potty scene.
Oh, good Lord.
And the ultimate porta potty joke is played, and poor Scott Kahn, he is not happy, but it was hilarious. I was just, man, you can't trust your friends around a porta potty. That's all I'm saying.
It's called Ready to Rumble, and it's out on DVD. Coming up, we're going to review something a little bit more serious. It's called The Wrestler. It's next on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.